Imagine landing your next interview or dream job after just one DM to somebody on LinkedIn. When I first started networking on LinkedIn, I kind of froze up every single time I was about to send a message to someone, all because I didn't want to sound awkward or seem desperate. If you ever stared at a blank screen or a blinking cursor trying to figure out what to say to somebody, I've been there. Today, I'm sharing 5 LinkedIn message templates that actually get responses, build relationships, and help you open new doors in your job search or your career. And stick around till the end for a bonus message that actually helps you move the needle. Hi friend, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, my name is Xavier. I was able to bounce back 4 months after a layoff, and I'm hoping I can help you do the same. All right, so let's get into why you're here. The first thing that I want to say is that networking doesn't have to feel cringy, right? And you don't need like a fancy title or a huge following in order to build relationships on that platform. All you need is the right message that's short, respectful, and authentically you. So let's start with the type of message that you're probably most likely to send, and that's our connection request. This is your first impression, right? So you want to make sure that you make it count. So here's the exact message that I use, and I'm going to use like filler names and my role, for example, to make sure that this template it makes sense to you as I'm reading it. All right, so here's the message that I used. Hi, Penny Proud. I came across your profile while researching Google, and I was impressed by your work in AI. As a product marketer in digital health, I'm always eager to connect with others who share my passion for AI implementations to your customers. Would you be open to connecting with me? This message isn't just short, right? It's respectful, it's specific, and it's warm. You're giving Penny Proud like context and purpose behind why you're reaching out to her without asking for anything from her, you know? This second message is perfect if you want to reach out to someone who shares a mutual group with you or a mutual interest with you on LinkedIn. So here's the message that I used. Hi, Kim Possible. I noticed we're both members of the Product Marketing Alliance and share an interest in AI and health tech. I'd appreciate connecting and exchanging insights on health tech trends in AI. So this message helps you lead with like having a commonality or putting you two on common ground, right? People are more likely to respond when you start a conversation with a shared interest or things that you have in common with them, and they'll want to talk about it probably all day long, especially if they post about it on their LinkedIn page. Now I want you to take a second to think about this, okay? Would you rather spend your time, like all day, every day, applying to a bunch of different jobs that you might not hear anything back for, or building meaningful relationships that can open doors to new opportunities? All right, now that I gave you a second to think about it, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, and let's move on to the next message type. All right, so message number 3 is gold. If you want to connect with creators or hiring managers or recruiters or anyone that works at a company that you want to work for that posts content. So here's a message that I would use or have used in this particular situation. Hi, Tweety Bird. I just read your post about AI and marketing and found your perspective insightful. I'd love to connect and hear more about your thoughts on where AI and marketing is headed in 2026. I will say this, like everybody out here loves when they are genuinely recognized for something. It's a compliment that doesn't necessarily feel forced or transactional, right? And now I want to move on to message type number 4. And you would use this message if you're reaching out to someone a little bit more senior in your field, and you're approaching this with like curiosity and just wanting guidance on how to move up the ranks in your career if you so desire. So in this instance, you would say something like this. Hi, Daniel Tiger. I'm exploring a career in product marketing and came across your experience at Microsoft. I'd be grateful for any advice on breaking into this field. would you have a few minutes for a quick chat or a DM exchange? We know that senior folks are extremely busy, so this message is very humble, but it's also time bound. In this message, right, you're not asking for a job, you're just asking for a couple minutes of their time. This builds trust with them, right? All right, so on to message number 5. And this is the one that a lot of people probably overlook. You would use this one to stand out as a giver and not a taker, okay? So in this message, you would say, "Hi Elmo, I saw you're working on a rebrand for a product. I have experience in rebranding specifically and a few resources that might be helpful for your team. I'd love to connect and share some ideas." The reason why this message works a lot of the time is that you're offering something to them. You're not asking for something from them. And people oftentimes remember generosity. Okay, so if you're still here, number 1, congratulations. But now I want to share a bonus message that I use for follow-up. All right, so you've sent all these messages and you've reached out to people, but if they don't respond, it's okay. It's also okay for you to follow up with them like 5 to 7 days after they haven't responded back to you. So in this message that I've used before, I would say something like this. "Hi, Big Bird. Just wanted to circle back on my earlier message. I really admire your work in AI and health tech and would love to connect when you have a moment." This message is polite, it's persistent, but it's not pushy, right? All in all, networking doesn't have to feel fake or awkward, right? It's about being kind, being curious, and also being consistent. So here's your challenge for the week, okay? I want you to send 3 people one of these message templates, see who responds, track who responds, and then follow up if they don't respond at all in like a week's time. Not everybody's gonna respond, okay? But those that do are opening this gateway to how you're gonna build a network that works for you in the long run. So I hope this helped you. And if it did, hit that like button. Also subscribe if you're interested in more job search content and taking notes from somebody who's been there and has put it to practice. And as always, thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.